And these public school shootings is just getting out of hand. It been out of hand. It should have never happened. And Trump's dumbass talking about some armed teachers. What?
I ain't trying to hit it. I'm on one and you did that. And now I'm back on my get back shit. Little bit.
Hey. Welcome back to my channel. My name is TV in case you're new. While you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on your post notifications as well. Just because, you know, YouTube be acting up sometimes and you may miss a video if you don't turn them on. Chance is awake, by the way. So the TV is on. He's watching Super Wings. So if you hear noise in the background, that's him or the TV. Today I am doing a parenting tag, a controversial parenting tag. I think the first person I've seen do this was Jillian Mercado. This was a while ago, well before I started like my channel. And I came across it again the other day and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do that. So here I am. I have my questions here written down in my book. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my book to see which question that I'm on. Question number 1, pro-life or pro-choice? And for a long time, I would say I was pro-life. But now I think I'm more pro-choice just because I feel like women have the right to say and do what they want with their bodies. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm pro-abortion because I'm not. I do not believe in abortions. But each to their own. I just believe every woman has the right to do what she wants with her body. Number 2, baby wearing. I didn't baby wear Chance. I really wanted to, but I hurt my lower back in the later stages of pregnancy, so I was unable to wear him. Any other future children I may have, I would definitely like to wear them, but I didn't get the chance to wear Chance. Question number 3, circumcision. See, this one I'm neither for nor against, TBH. I know a lot of people do it for religious reasons and some people do it just out of preference. But I'm neither for nor against, to be honest. Number 4, would you ever adopt? And yes, I would. I feel like some people go through having kids because they don't want to get abortions or they can't afford an abortion depending on where they live. And I feel like that child deserves a right at happiness, you know, deserves a chance at happiness, should I say. I would love to adopt like a younger child, but at the same time I feel like teenagers or preteens are always neglected because they've grown up in the system and no one wants someone who's unruly or at that stage where they're acting out and they feel a lot of, what's the word, they feel lonely. And I don't feel like no one wants them. So I feel like I would definitely adopt a teenager or a preteen. And just to show them that it's not too late for them. And to show them that there is people out there who will still love them. Number 5, baby piercing. Okay, so I didn't pierce Chance's ears. I did think about it. His dad and I talked about it. And his dad was like, he doesn't want me to do it. So I was like, alright, cool. And to be honest, it wasn't a huge deal to me. I got my ears pierced when I was a baby and I was perfectly fine. And I got the second ones done when I was like 6. I think I got them later on. But once again, I'm either for or against. I mean, everyone has personal preference. I understand why people do it when children are babies, because it's a lot less easier to get infected because they're not gonna like play with it like an older child would because they're fascinated by it. But I'm not really for or against, as I said. Number 6, breast milk or formula. Chance is breastfed. However, he has had formula and it's not harmed him in any way. I feel like it's each to their own. Personally, I prefer to breastfeed. I was breastfed up until I was like 3. But I feel like this is a huge, it's definitely what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Controversial. It's definitely a controversial topic. I had to look at my book to see what this tag was called. It's definitely controversial because a lot of people feel like you need to breastfeed. A lot of people see breastfeeding as taboo and all of this. It's definitely controversial, but my personal opinion is breastfeeding all the way. Any future children I may have, I will definitely try to breastfeed. Breastfeeding is hard though, and if you do not have the correct support, it'll put you off completely. I know I was like, forget this. I had mastitis. My breasts were engorged so bad, and they wouldn't even like, my milk ducts were blocked. It was so bad. So if a woman chooses to breastfeed, she needs the correct support because it is hard. It may seem like something so simple, but it's actually pretty hard. Number 7, spanking. Will you or won't you? I mean, I probably got like 3 spankings in my entire almost 24 years of life. And I don't think I was a bad child. I had a lot of attitude, but I was never necessarily a bad child. Will I spank Chance? At the moment, we don't do spanking. It's usually a timeout because I don't want to hit him. When Chance has got into the stage where he likes to hit when he's upset or when he doesn't get his way, and I don't want to hit him and tell him not to hit. That's kind of contradictory. So what I just do is I put him to sit down by himself for like 2 to 3 minutes, and he will cry for that full 2 to 3 minutes, let me tell you. And he will get annoyed for that full 2 to 3 minutes. And then, you know, I'll go over to him, explain what he did was what he did was wrong, why he shouldn't do it. And then I hug him and let him know that it's okay, like I still love him, and you know, he just shouldn't be doing what he was doing. But as he grows older, who's to say what will come into place? I know there's different forms of discipline. Like I said, I was probably hit. I think my mom beat me once and my dad hit me once. I don't even think it was 3 times. I literally think it was twice. So I just, as of now, no. Number 8, co-sleeping. So when Chance was a newborn, like first newborn, up until like 3 months, he slept in his crib by himself. And when he was about 3.5, 4 months, he got sick, and I started sleeping with him. I put him in my bed to sleep with me, and just because I wanted him to be close to me, just in case, you know, he stopped breathing in the night, like I needed him near me, so I knew something was wrong. And since then, we've co-slept ever since. He is 1.5 years now, and you know, we're still co-sleeping. He sleeps perfectly fine. He goes to sleep about 7 and wakes up about 7 the next morning or 6:30. I mean, if co-sleeping is done correctly, then it is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people have different opinions on that, but as long as it's done right, it is safe. It's actually been proven that it's perfectly safe if done correctly. 9, what type of schooling do you prefer? Public, charter, private, or homeschooling? So I do plan on moving back to America eventually, and these public school shootings is just getting out of hand. It's been out of hand. It should have never happened. And Trump's dumbass talking about some armed teachers. What? Honestly, I would like Chance to go to private school, but it's extremely expensive. I would like him to go to private school for 2 reasons. 1, because I feel like he's a bright child, and I feel like he will thrive in private school, and he'll get a little bit more attention just because in private school the classes are a lot smaller and teachers are able to give them more support. And I feel like I've never been to private school, I don't know, but I feel like it could be good for him advancement wise, because he is quite a smart child. I could never do homeschooling. I don't have the patience. I truly do not. I don't have the patience. Honestly, in the future, if I am able to send him to private school, I do feel like at some point I will, whether it be elementary, middle, or high school. At some point, if I am able to, I would like to put him in private school. Vaccinations. Number 10, vaccinations. So I didn't know this was a huge thing before becoming a parent. I truly did not. And vaccinations, I got my vaccinations when I was a kid, and I was perfectly fine. Chance had his first set of vaccinations when he was, what, 8 weeks? And he was perfectly fine. The next set, he was perfectly fine. I think he was due for another set a few months ago, like 5 months ago. And I am yet to take him to get them, just because I've been reading up and I'm finding out so much information. This one I'm not for nor against either, just because it's so much information and there's no way to truly be 100% sure. Like, everyone reacts differently to different things. Yes, he was okay with his first 2 rounds, but who's to say he'll be okay with his next set? I do believe vaccinations do help and save a lot of lives, but I'm still kind of on the fence, to be honest. Number 11. Do you medicate your child? Medicate me like when they're sick, not like just medicate them for the sake of them shutting up. Chance isn't sick very often. He's probably been sick 3 times in his 1.5 years of life. This time that I talked about earlier in this video, when he was about 3.5, 4 months, I washed his hair later than I usually would, and took him downstairs, and downstairs is the coldest part of our house. Took him downstairs and he ended up catching a tiny cold. It wasn't nothing major, it was just a small cold. He was sick a few weeks ago. He caught it from me because I had the flu and we was away in America, but that's because we had been hit by the hurricane, and you know, we had no light or water for about a week. So like a bug went around the house. Literally, my niece, I started off with my niece when she came over to my other sister's house, and it just went around all of us. So I wouldn't necessarily even call that being sick because of the situation, but he's been sick 3 times. And when we was in America, all he had was Pedialyte, just because he was dehydrated. He didn't have any actual medicine. The first time he was sick, he wasn't able to have medicine because they don't make medicine for babies that young here in England. And a few months ago, when he had the flu, all he had was it Calpol? I think it was Calpol, to help bring down his fever. Anytime he would get a fever, I would just give him ice cream to help bring it down, but that time wasn't working. I usually try to find alternative methods because I don't like taking medicine, so I don't want to give it to him if I don't have to. I know medication is good and it can be a great help, but if I can find alternative methods, natural methods, before giving him medication, then I definitely will. Number 12, cloth versus disposable diapers. Disposable all the way. I'm sorry y'all, but listen, I can't deal with cloth diapers. I'm sorry. It's too much hassle, and I don't have the stomach for it. I don't have the patience for it. It's just, I'm lazy. Sorry. It is what it is. And I know, I remember reading something or watching a video the other day saying that diapers stay on this planet for 50 times the amount of the average person's lifespan. So say if the average person lives to 76 years old, it stays on this planet for 50 times that amount. And I was like, wow, that's insane. Your diapers will outlive you. It's crazy. But I don't know, I can't do cloth. Scraping poop out, and then, you know, changing their pants, especially in public. It's such, I hate changing diapers in public already with a disposable. Imagine cloth after your child has pooped. It's too much. Disposable all the way. 13, and the final question, cry it out method. Will you, won't you? Okay, so I tried this method with Chance. Was not really young, but he was young. He was a few months old. He was probably like, I don't even know. He was young. But I was a new mom and I was overwhelmed, and it was so much going on. And I didn't necessarily leave him to cry for him to comfort himself to sleep. I left him to cry because I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. So he ended up crying for like half hour. I was still in the room. I didn't leave him. I was still in the room and he was crying. But I felt so bad. But no matter what I was doing, nothing was working. So new moms understand. But I felt so bad. And to this day I look back and I still feel pretty bad about it. But I can't change it now. Cry out method, I mean, people see it as torture. I don't necessarily see it as torture. Children have to comfort themselves to sleep eventually, and as long as you're checking on them every few minutes, making sure they're okay, then it's perfectly fine in my opinion. Leave your child to cry for an hour straight is just no. You know, there's something wrong sometimes. Even if it's just they want comfort to go to sleep, especially if they're young, like it's not worth letting them cry. And people say, oh, if you leave them to cry, then they end up being detached human beings, like they don't have to deal with their emotions and all of that. And then they say if you cuddle your child too much, then they end up being overly emotional and overly attached. You just can't win, so you got to do whatever you want to do. But I have let Chance cry himself to sleep before, knowing that he was tired. I laid with him for about 2 hours and he didn't want to go to sleep. So I got up and I did what I needed to do, and within 10 minutes he was asleep. I don't even think it was 10 minutes, it was less than that, and he was asleep. Sometimes children fight their sleep and cry because they're tired, but they don't want to sleep. I mean, each to their own. I have tried it before. We don't do it often. That was like when after he turned 1, and he's a 1.5 years now. So, alright guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. If you're a parent, I encourage you to do this controversial parenting tag, because I want to know your opinion. Even if you don't make a video, answer the questions down below. I'll write them in the description box so you guys can answer them as well. Are there some other parenting tasks that you'd like to see? I think I saw one that I want to do. I know I've done one previously, but you know, let me know in the comments down below. I definitely want to know different opinions on these kind of things, especially the ear piercing method and the cried out method, because I know a lot of people, I've seen conversations where women are ready to bite each other's heads off over their own opinion, like. But let me know in the comments down below, because I genuinely want to know. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe as well if you'd like to see more of my content, and don't forget to turn on your post notifications as well. And until next time.
Catch me on my worst side, nah, never. It's how a diamond shine bright and need pressure.